on this intro, you have probably already guessed where we're located. That's right, we're in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina and the birthplace of tango. The city, which was originally founded in 1536, has a rich history and a unique cultural identity. It is the heart of Argentina, as well as a political, cultural, and economic center of the country. Buenos Aires was shaped by the millions of immigrants who came here from the different countries of Europe, including Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Russia, and many other countries. An interesting fact about Buenos Aires is that it was founded by the Spanish Empire as a shipping port, but for a long time it was actually part of the Viceroyalty of Peru and was governed all the way from Lima, which is located several thousands of miles away. Not being an important economic or administrative center, it became pretty isolated from the rest of the Spanish Empire. Because of this, Buenos Aires and its surrounding regions developed its own independent culture that resulted in a unique Argentinian identity, including even its own variation of Spanish with an unmistakable Argentinian accent. It wasn't until the second half of the 19th century when Argentina experienced a period of rapid economic expansion, which was fueled by the development of its fertile agricultural lands and massive immigration wave from Europe. People were promised open land and even money to come to Argentina, and many of them made great fortunes in these lands. At the turn of the 20th century, in Paris, people used to say, "as rich as an Argentine." There was so much capital inflow that people constructed these massive mansions all around Buenos Aires in the style of the Belle Epoque architecture. This grandeur and scale still defines the city of Buenos Aires today, with its expansive avenues, beautiful parks, classical architecture, and many statues scattered throughout the city, reminding its residents of its former glory and shaping the character of the city today.
Buenos Aires to you, enjoying this Malbec, the land of delicious red wines. That's a healthy pour for like around $4. In a bottle it's like 14, a little bit less, so at a restaurant, so that's pretty darn good. Try out the Italian pizza here. Such, Argentine culture has such a huge Italian influence. You can just see it in how they talk, how they move their hands. So I want to try their pizza with prosciutto and Malbec, of course. All for $15. Not bad considering they're experiencing massive inflation like everywhere else.
That is true. Since 2001, Argentina has experienced significant currency depreciation and hyperinflation, which has affected people's quality of life. Although being here, it is not so evident, because Buenos Aires still has pretty developed infrastructure, impressive cultural landmarks, and the lifestyle seems pretty relaxed and European, at least on the surface. There are many galleries, cafes, and museums, like the Latin American Museum of Buenos Aires, which features works of Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo, and many others. The residents of Buenos Aires are highly educated and value art, culture, and literature. There is a famous bookstore called El Ateneo Gran Splendid, which was built in a former theater. This amazing bookstore is one of the most beautiful in the world, and it is a site worth visiting in and of itself. On my visit there, I picked up a couple of books by the famous Argentine authors Jorge Luis Borges and Julio Cortázar, who have defined the Latin American literary movement of the 20th century, putting Argentina's literature on the world stage. This cultural legacy doesn't disappear overnight. It is something that defines entire generations, the identity of the country and its people. It shows up in how people dress, their manners and habits, how they spend their time. Of course, periods of economic prosperity help establish it, but the people are the ones who preserve it. For example, every restaurant we've been to had beautiful design, excellent service, and fine details like table settings. Even though I doubt that people who earn an average Argentinian income can afford to go out much, when they do it right.
I'm about to try the Argentinian parrilla. So this is the ribeye steak, and it's about $23 on the menu. But if you pay cash, then you get a slightly different exchange rate. It's a little bit better, about 40% better. Because in Argentina, there are two different exchange rates. And you actually get an advantage if you pay with cash. And, there's a lot of, Argentina is going through a lot of, I would say, adjustment financially. So the prices are changing. And last year, this could have been half the price, but the inflation has been going up. So it's not quite the Argentina that we were hoping for, but it's not bad, nevertheless. Let's try it.
Well, guess what we're in front of?
We found it. We found the source.
The source of all of Argentina's pain. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the hyperinflation.
The Banco Nacional de Argentina.
The National Bank of Argentina monetary policies, central bank, for the last 20 years, Argentinian people have been suffering. So you can have a democracy for the last 40 years, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a strong currency, basically you're in this matrix wheel.
Yeah, and people we've been talking to, they're all saying in the last year, the prices have gone up twice, and it's
100%.
Crazy. Yeah, you go to a grocery store and some things are okay, but some things are just ridiculous. We saw a $19 yogurt, and it wasn't even that special.
So prices here within the last, since Milei has been here, it's been 100%.
And this is who's to blame.
And this is, he's trying to fix a 20 years policy, and guess what? The USA is following the same trajectory. Every 3 months, $1 trillion of debt. United States, your central bank, is increasing. What does that mean? They're going to increase property taxes. Every tax, they're going to come after you for those taxes. So when we say GTFO out of the USA,
that's what we mean.
This is what
Here's
we mean.
Another famous plaza here in Buenos Aires. It's the plaza of the Argentinian army. But I don't know, who are they fighting, and why do they have an army?
Well, actually, back in, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was the shortest battle or war for Argentina with some disputed islands called the Falkland Islands, some of you might remember, which they were claiming, Argentina was claiming it was part of their territory, but the British Empire said, no,
Well, let me guess, who won?
Empire.
Oh, you mean the British Empire?
The British Empire.
Argentina might not be known for winning wars, but they're known for many other things, like their world-class tango. So we're about to go see a tango show, and we just stopped at this restaurant to have dinner before the show. And it's a beautiful restaurant right across the street from the famous Teatro Colón, which is one of the most famous theaters in the world. It's absolutely beautiful, but this restaurant is also a great match to the theater because just look at the interior. It's amazing, and
If you want a taste of the old world, Argentina, come to Argentina.
So here in Argentina, it's not that cheap. The food is actually pretty expensive, but still better than the US.
Speaking of old world, yes, that's lomo steak.
Steak, you can get steak for about $25. And I found that here actually alcohol is a little bit cheaper than in the US. So when you go to a restaurant, you can afford to get a drink or two. And they bring you nice appetizers too. So there's like bread and pate, and what else did we get with it? Some potatoes. So yeah, it's
very lovely.
It's definitely nice and reminds me of how
Europe.
Things used to be. Yeah, and how things are in Europe. But enough with the small talk. Let's go see some tango.
Yo la vi, a mi bebé tan luminosa como un sol. Ay, que la suerte quiere que te vuelva a ver, la porteña de mi único querer. Y oigo la queja de un bandoneón, dentro de mi pecho pide rienda el corazón. Volver con la frente marchita, las nieves del tiempo platean el cielo. Sentir es un soplo la vida, de 20 años no es nada que febril la mirada, errante en las sombras de busca que logrará vivir. Con el alma aferrada a un dulce recuerdo que lloro otra vez.
Buenos Aires is still an incredible place, and don't believe anyone who tells you otherwise. Despite the inflation, it is a beautiful city with a vibrant energy, amazing culture, fantastic food, and a sense of nostalgia for the old world. I would love to spend more time here, but for now, we're going to the other side of Argentina, to Mendoza, where they make all the famous Argentinian wines. We will be there for a few weeks, so in our next video, we will show you what life in Argentina is like outside of the capital. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this with your friends if you enjoyed this video.